Although Relogic's Loki was fielding questions from Terrarians both on Twitter and the official forums, most of the important commentary this time came by way of his tweets. As we wait for console 1.4, there are some burning questions. Will your save games be compatible? How long until all of the submissions to Sony and Microsoft are complete? Will they let us know in advance when it's ready to be published? Will this channel get 50,000 subscribers before Journey's End reaches consoles? I hope so. Anyway, continue watching this video to find out the answers to most of these questions. Let's begin with a tweet from Barrett, who wrote, "Does Relogic get updates on how the review is coming at all?" Loki's reply was, "We do not directly. Any information would go to 505 Games and then shared to us. And of course, anything that has been disclosed has been kept pretty close to the vest." Azazbg, I hope I pronounced that correctly, tweeted, "You guys say that 1.4 console will be released soon?" Loki replied, No, we haven't. We have never given a date outside of the Q3 window. That said, with it being in submission, I stand by what I said. The Doctor tweeted, "Is it likely that Submission 2 will take as long as Submission 1? Loki's response to this was, "Depends on how much they would need to review, I would guess. I don't claim to be an expert on the process. I would guess it might be shorter, but I could be wholly wrong. And if you're wondering about the meaning of Submission 2, they've said before that if there are any issues with the first submission, there may need to be another round, so a second submission just to hammer out any issues that either Sony or Microsoft come across when they review the work of the patch." Next up, Lenny wrote, "Will all our previous characters and worlds carry over to 1.4? As I have a world with 100 plus hours and don't want to see it go," which is an understandable concern. Loki replied, 1.3 era worlds should transfer properly. We are unsure about 1.2 worlds that were never played on 1.3. We got no worlds to even test. Either way, the existing saves are kept intact in case of any issues. I suggest a new world with any 1.x update anyway to get all the stuff." Shay writes, "Have you guys thought of adding the Terraria workshop to console, iOS, and Switch in the future?" The reply was, "Thought about, sure. No clean road to it, but it's been discussed for certain." Here's an interesting name. Isle of Misfit Boys writes, "Is Switch getting the 1.4 update alongside Xbox One and PlayStation 4? No one really mentions Switch, so I thought I'd ask." The reply was, "No, it will be a bit longer, but work is already underway." Jonathan Kessinger writes, "When Terraria 1.4 launches for console, will it be cross-platform, or is that something that you are still working on?" The response to that was, "We'll make an attempt once parity is reached. No guarantees we will succeed, of course." And so by that he means not right away, because the initial Journey's End patch for consoles will not be at parity, because the PC version, as many of you know, is a few smaller patches ahead of where the consoles will be when they get this enormous patch. Lumi writes, "Hey, sorry to bother you. Getting hyped for 1.4 console, I decided to play a bit of it on mobile and discovered that the TV headset, along with some other vanity sets, weren't in the game. I'm assuming that came with a later update, and I'm wondering if the console updates have them. I'm not going to act like it's the end of the world if it comes at a later date, but it's honestly one of my favorite vanity sets in the entire game. Whether it comes or not, I'd just like to say I'm very hyped. I appreciate everyone's hard work." Loki responded to this with, "The fan contest vanity sets came after 1.4. They will not be in this update. They will be in the later arriving parity update." Cooper writes, "What day is the most ideal? For example, if they both got reviewed and accepted on the weekend, what day would we most likely get it? Loki answered this with, "Don't know. Sometime early the following week. Probably on Monday or Tuesday." Cooper was back with, "Last question. Will everyone know when one of the platforms has confirmed the update? Or will we not know until both are confirmed?" Loki responded with, "When we have info or a date to share, we will. You will know in advance." Conathan writes, "Loki, I know that you already said you don't have a guess when you'll get the submission back and be able to send it out, but would you get a heads up before getting the green light? Or will it be a surprise to you as well? AKA, will we get a heads up as to when 1.4 is coming out before you upload it?" Loki's answer, in keeping with the earlier comment, was, "Yes, we will be able to give everyone a heads up on timing in advance once we know more." So, we've got a bit of insight here into the advance notice we'll likely receive on the Xbox and PlayStation editions of Journey's End. Also, it sounds like the Nintendo Switch port is pushing ahead with its development, while Sony and Microsoft examine the work that DR Studios have done for the other consoles. So they're not stopping, they're just carrying on, this time with work on the Switch, so that's certainly a good thing. And I think it's promising, don't you think? Anyway, as always, stay tuned to the channel for further news. I wish I could have an update with a specific date for the release, but as Loki says, they'll let us know when they know themselves. So that's it for now. Thanks to everyone for watching, and thanks for all the subscriptions.